Sorting out all those mixed messages. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am a recovering alcoholic. This Friday night, if you and your friends are local to the Huntington, West Virginia area, encourage you to come on down to our Friday night crosstalk meeting. This Friday night, every Friday night at 7 o'clock, 5747 East Pea Ridge Road in Huntington, West Virginia, Pea Ridge United Methodist Church. It's not a pathway-specific meeting. It's not a traditional meeting at all. If you're looking for something different, a recovery-centric meeting, then this is the one. We call it the quickest hour in recovery. It's always a lot of fun. After all, what's the point of getting clean and sober if you can't have fun? Matter of fact, just last Friday night at the crosstalk meeting, we were talking about doing a cookout, which it looks like it's going to happen now. So everyone from that attends our crosstalk meeting, we're going to be having a cookout this Sunday. If you're interested, let me know. So the other day, I talked about on the monologue, I talked about how I had written out a monologue series that I wanted to start sharing with you today. It's this idea of mixed messages within recovery that can sometimes create confusion, especially for the newcomer. Some old people, some old timers too, but definitely the newcomer. And today I want to talk about selfishness. And before I begin, I want to kind of take you back and explain some things. Whenever I started out my own recovery journey, personal recovery journey, I wanted to learn. I was willing to learn as much as I possibly could about this thing called Alcoholics Anonymous. After all, it seemed to be the only thing that had any type of promise or hope to helping me stop drinking permanently. That was my goal. I couldn't figure out how to stop drinking permanently. So of course I went to these meetings where I could meet people who had figured out how to do what it was I was trying to do. How to stop drinking. And I was able to ask them questions, sometimes. I was able to ask them questions. I wanted to ask them questions directly, and have that engagement, that back and forth conversation and dialogue that we have in crosstalk. I wanted to do that. And they would always refer me to the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, of course, the source of reference for everything AA, right? And so, to give you a great example, in chapter 5 of the big book, Bill Wilson told me that I was selfishly self-centered. I was selfish in my alcoholism. You might be selfish in your addiction. After all, how many times did I put whiskey before my kids? How many times did I put whiskey before my spouse? How many times did I put whiskey on a pedestal? A lot, every day, matter of fact. I was selfish. I wanted my whiskey before I wanted to help anybody else. And usually what happens is, for a newcomer coming into recovery, we read that, especially when we get to steps 10 and 11, Bill Wilson is writing about how we need to look for selfishness. And so as a newcomer, we go, oh, well, we can't be selfish. So what do we do as a newcomer? We rush right out and we try to help everybody. But then when we come into the rooms, we hear a different message. We hear everybody saying you need to be selfish about your recovery. When I first saw that, I realized, hey, this can be confusing to a newcomer. But truth be told, it's not that difficult. And here's why. When Bill Wilson is writing about selfishness, us being selfish, he's talking about us being an active addiction, active alcoholism, if you will, and how we're selfish. It's our intent. In other words, I wanted to get drunk before I wanted to take my kids to the doctor or take my kids to a dance recital or whatever. I wanted to drink. That's what he means about being selfish. Whereas in the rooms, they talk about being selfish. What they're saying is you need to put your recovery first and foremost above anybody and everything else in your life. Because whatever you put in front of your recovery, you will lose. I'm a walking, talking testament to that. And so many times newcomers will come into recovery, they get excited, they get fired up, and they want to rush right out and save the world. And I get it. It's admirable. I tried the same thing. But what we have to understand is, again, whatever we put in front of our recovery, we will lose. So what good am I going to do to help somebody else if I'm not taking care of me first? We can take this conversation off into relationships even. If I'm not at my best, how in the blue hell can I possibly expect to be my best at helping other people? You have to have it before you can give it away. It's one of those little cliches you hear all the time. In other words, I have to put my recovery first, make sure my recovery stays foremost, front and center, top of my priority list, above my wife, above my kids, above my dogs, above everything else, in order for me to be of maximum service to other people. people. There's nothing wrong with helping people, but if I'm going to do it, I got to have it to give it away. What they're talking about, that mixed message of, Bill Wilson writes, it sounds like he's saying selfishness is bad, but in the rooms they're saying selfishness is, you need to be selfish. We have to look at the intent. Bill's talking about our intent when we are actively drinking and drugging. The rooms, those folks, those old timers in the room saying you got to be selfish with your recovery, they're talking about being selfish with just your recovery to allow you to become the best version of you so you can run out and start helping others become the best version of themselves. So with that being said, I'm out of time. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober, and I cannot be any more appreciative. We'll be talking again soon. Remember, guys, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.